Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's get started. Well, tonight the Gonzaga Bulldogs made it a bit interesting in the end, but overall they cruised to an 81-71 victory over USF tonight in the WCC semifinals. Our Brandon Green and Travis Green joining us live from Las Vegas tonight to go over a contest that was owned by the Gonzaga Bigs. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Mark. Yeah, Drew Timme said earlier this week that he felt like this team was hungry, and boy, did Drew himself come out to feast tonight.
Yeah, he kind of led the way. You could tell he came out very aggressive tonight and was feeling it. I think that'd be fair to say.
Yeah, he had Gonzaga's first 6 points in this game. Overall, 22 points, 9 of 13 shooting for him, but it wasn't just Drew. All of the Gonzaga Bigs were eaten tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Chet Holmgren, Chet Holmgren, and Anton Watson had Gonzaga's first 18 points and finished with 46 points overall as a group. Watson also almost had a double-double with 8 points and 10 boards. Holmgren was close as well with 17 points and 8 boards. Here's a stat to blow your mind. Gonzaga had 52 points in the paint to USF's 18. Don't need to say much more there for Drew Timme. This was just a normal, everyday night. He talked about that a little bit post-game, and Mark Few also talked about Anton Watson's play.
It's just what we do. That's just Zag basketball, and we got away from it a little bit, and we just focused on that this week prior to this, and we just got back to doing what we do best, and that's the bottom line.
It was good to get Anton back. He's played numerous games like that. I talked to him earlier today. We had a little chat just about getting back to, when he gets in, changing the game and making plays and being assertive. I think over the course of the last 3 games, he hasn't been that and struggled. But prior to that, he's been such a lift.
All right, so naturally, the next question that comes into Gonzaga fans' minds is, who will they be playing next, and does this team want St. Mary's next, especially considering their loss to the Gales last week? Obviously, we don't know right at this moment who Gonzaga will be playing because St. Mary's and Santa Clara is in progress right now as we speak. Drew Timme was asked that question on who he'd like to play tonight. Let's put it this way. He wasn't too thrilled about being asked that question. Check him out after the question is answered.
I know the politically correct response to this question is we don't care whom we play, but the fact that you lost to St. Mary's a week and a half ago, would you prefer to play St. Mary's tomorrow night?
It doesn't matter. Both teams are hard. They're both well-coached teams. Whoever happens to win, we'll have to get ready for, and it'll be a challenge no matter what.
Same thing.
I don't know if you guys saw him shaking his head or not there. If you didn't, we will show that in the 11. Okay, you guys did see it. I wanted to make sure. We were dying in the media room over this. Drew, just like you, I cannot hide my emotion on things either. To be fair, the question probably could have been phrased a little bit better. It was also the second question of the press conference, so it was a little hot, to say the least.
Don't blame Drew. I mean, he was not his typical self at the press conference either. Obviously, a little frustrated with the way that game ended. They were so hot at the start, let USF back into this game, so understandably frustrated. And in a question like that, he didn't want to answer it right then. But
No. And he did not want to talk about how the Zags played at the end. He kind of passed on a question non-verbally in a way.
Right.
So yeah, I think he's definitely going to have some things to say about that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
At least to his team, what I'm saying. That's okay though. They're still moving on. Who also is moving on? The Gonzaga women. Yes, they beat USF today, 69-55. A nice win for them. The Zags had a jumper at the end of the third quarter that sparked a fourth quarter run to secure that win. Kaylin Trong was on fire today. She had that jumper at the end of the third quarter that you're seeing right here. Trong, by the way, came off the bench. She led all Gonzaga scorers with 18. The WCC 6th Woman of the Year, Ivana Ejim, who was the Zags' second leading scorer, also off the bench, had a layup just 10 seconds into the quarter. Gonzaga would widen their lead with Kaylin's sister, Kaylee, hitting another jumper. The sisters seemed to like those. Finally, Abby O'Connor capped off the 9-0 run with a 3 to put the Zags up by 12. they would never look back and went on to win this one 69-55. The win was huge in terms of keeping the Gonzaga women in the NCAA tournament field, and Lisa Fortier is definitely aware.
I do know how to read, and people do send me a lot of messages, and so I know what the situation is. We are just trying to control our own destiny at this time. We always are when we get here. We schedule for an at-large bid, and then we try to come here and win the tournament. And certainly we're one step closer to achieving that next goal.
Some less sexy but still huge stats from this game. The Gonzaga women 17 of 18 from the line, absolutely huge. They also out-rebounded USF 49-35. That's a pretty difficult thing for another team to overcome.
Definitely. Gonzaga, the women, they've been great from the free throw line all season, so not too surprised to see them do that. That game, by the way, they're going to play BYU. It's round 3 of these two. Gonzaga's 0-2 this season against BYU, so a rematch in the championship game tomorrow. That game tips off at 1 p.m., and you can catch it on ESPNU.
Yes, and the Gonzaga men, by the way, their game will be at 6 on ESPN. Forgot to mention that one earlier. So yeah, we are going to be here. We're going to keep reporting. So there you go. But for right now, he's Travis Green. I'm Brenna Green from 2 Sports.
Travis, Brenna, thank you very much. Live from Las Vegas tonight. In other news this evening, we shift to some developing news tonight of a large police presence staging in Otis Orchards. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk shares more on what the situation is.
The Spokane Police and Sheriff SWAT team spent several hours at this Otis Orchards property thinking the suspect was there. Turns out he wasn't. SPD is not telling us that person's name or going into detail about the crime, only saying the person is wanted for a violent crime which happened in Spokane. SPD, along with the Sheriff's Office and U.S. Marshals, staged in a church parking lot this afternoon before heading over to the property, which is about a mile away. We saw the sheriff's helicopter circling overhead as SWAT teams moved in. They stayed at the property well into the evening, and we heard several loud bangs and officers on a loudspeaker asking the suspect to come out with his hands up. But again, police tell us that suspect was not there, and they don't know where he is tonight. Reporting from Otis Orchards, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, the Spokane City Council unanimously voted on how to allocate more than $12 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds. The money will be used for a wide range of areas within the city. $3.5 million will go toward homelessness services, with another $3 million going toward behavioral health services for low-income and at-risk youth. A further $2 million is being given to general projects that are determined to be of, quote, citywide significance. $1.5 million will go to reimbursing permit fees for attainable housing, and another $1.2 million will go towards funding mobile medical clinics in that area as well. While these general purposes for the ARPA money have been determined, the city will open an application process in the future for more specific spending of that money. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. A family in Colville is remembering the life of their youngest child. 14-year-old Danielle Mikyeva was longboarding with his sister when a driver hit and killed him on Douglas Falls Road. The Stevens County Sheriff says he believes 36-year-old Chad Warren was driving while impaired when he hit the teen. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll share how the victim's sister is remembering him tonight.
I mean, everything's going up. Prices are going up with everything, so it's kind of like just following suit. But, you know, we do try to drive a little less, I guess, and carpool as much as we can because of the price.
Gas prices continuing to rise amid inflation and the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of gas in Spokane right now is $4.05. It's a little lower over in Idaho, where AAA says the average price for a gallon is $3.96 as of today. Coeur d'Alene a bit cheaper yet, sitting at $3.85 a gallon. Today, the Pentagon announced 500 additional U.S. troops are being deployed to Europe due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That includes 150 airmen from Fairchild, along with KC-135 refueling planes from the base. The troops are being sent to reinforce and bolster the defense capabilities of the NATO alliance. The Pentagon spokesman did not say how many KC-35s are being sent, and said the Pentagon will continue to shift resources as needed. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000, and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, taking a look at international news tonight. Tonight, the UN says at least 1,200 Ukrainians have died fighting in the war against Russia. In addition to that number, 2 million people have fled the country so far, with 2,000 people today alone. Ukraine's president addressed the country saying, quote, "We will not forgive, we will not forget." He says he plans to stay in Ukraine until the war is over. Well, let's switch gears and talk weather. It was both warm and sunny today, which was really refreshing, but don't get used to it. Let's get straight out to meteorologist Jeremy Lagoon, the Outdoor Weather Center tonight. Jeremy, 41 degrees according to our thermometer, but you're saying it's going to get a bit colder even yet, right?
Absolutely, Mark. And get this, 41 degrees right now. Tomorrow, that's your high temperature. Seriously. So what you feel right now is what it's going to feel like by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. And that comes with a chilly start to the day and even colder weather on the way. So get ready for a bit of a cold snap as we head through the next few days. We currently sit at 41 in Spokane. You're in the upper 30s in Coeur d'Alene, low 30s in Sandpoint, and mid 40s in both Wenatchee and Moses Lake. So as we sit, that cooler air starting to filter its way in, and it's going to really play a role in what we see in the next couple of days. We have winter weather advisories up and over the mountain passes right now. We're talking snow sticking above 2,500 feet. You're going to have to get even higher than that to find it sticking to the roads. Really, it's going to be 4th of July pass and Lookout Pass as we get into the day on Tuesday. There's not much moisture associated with this, so expect less than an inch. I'll walk you through it coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Jeremy, sounds good. Thank you very much. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. We'll take a quick break and be right back with more news and weather.